What's up, Grace Girls? Welcome to the Allow Yourself Grace podcast, where we focus on helping Black women change their lives by discarding negative thoughts, pivoting in the right direction, and shifting their mindset through cultivating a trauma free lifestyle. I'm your host, Courtney Kristen, educator, content creator, life coach, counselor, and mental health enthusiast living in Houston, Texas. I created the Allow Yourself Grace podcast because I wanted to create a space for Black women to share their thoughts, feelings, and stories that make them who they are without fear of judgment. Allow Yourself Grace provides emotional support and encouragement within the Grace Girls community for women in need of non-biased opinions from women other than family and friends. Personal development, self-care, career, faith are among many of the topics we will discuss on this platform. Allow Yourself Grace podcast is here to encourage Black women to live unapologetically and thrive in being authentically who they are and were designed to be, an entire vibe. No topics are off limits. We will cover it all. Now, grab a notebook, pen, sit back, and enjoy the show. Hello, guys. Welcome to the first episode of the Allow Yourself Grace podcast. I'm your host, Courtney Kristen. Some of you guys may know me from the podcast that I have with my husband, One Marriage, Two Hustlers. Be sure to go over and subscribe to that as well. But I'm excited to have my own podcast just so you guys can kind of get to know me and kind of get to know what I'm about as well. And just really so I can have genuine, authentic conversations with other Black women out here. And so that's what the Allow Yourself Grace podcast is all about. It is a self-help podcast where we are going to be having self-help conversations for Black women. But other races and ethnicities are welcome to join us. We would love to have you. Hope you guys are also listening. And also, so the podcast is just basically about giving yourself credit for where you are. Many of us struggle with that. We struggle with giving ourselves credit for where we are now and what we have accomplished so far in our lives, because we're so busy focused on the future and we get overwhelmed with the hustle and the bustle of life, and we kind of forget to live in the moment. And so on this podcast, we're going to be talking about just finding yourself, getting to know who you are, with all the challenges and changes and things that life brings. We change. Our daily routines change. And so we're just going to be talking about finding ourselves in this episode. In this episode, we're going to get into, finding yourself later in life. Sometimes you don't find yourself immediately in your 20s, or sometimes even in your 30s. It may be later in life, but just knowing that that's okay, right? And being comfortable with the position that you're in. So the quote that I chose for today, so every episode I'm going to have a quote that we're going to start with. And so the quote that I chose for today is, "Not until we are lost do we begin finding ourselves." Not until we are lost do we begin finding ourselves. And so I've mapped out 7 tips to finding yourself when you're feeling lost. There's so many people, and especially Black women, that are feeling lost at this time in their lives. Like, you may even be surrounded by family, you may be surrounded by friends, you may have a husband, you may have kids, but there's still something deep within you that is not fulfilled. Like, you're missing something. You feel as though you're missing something. Like, from the outside looking in, Family and friends may say, oh, you have it all together. They feel like, you're on track. Like, what could possibly be wrong? And you're in this place where you're feeling like, man, no one really understands me. No one gets it. And you're still feeling this void. Like you're still attempting to fill this void. And it seems like nothing is filling this void. What I want you to do is remember what you love to do, right? Whenever you're feeling lost, remember what you love. Like, what is that thing that gets you up in the morning? Like, what's the thing that excites you the most? And it doesn't necessarily have to have anything to do with your family, your friends, your kids, your husband. Like, what's the thing that motivates you to be authentically who you are, right? When we think about that, we think about the things that we're really passionate about and that we really, really care about, and the thing that we most want people to remember about us, that's what's going to help you begin to fill that void. I love taking time, especially during the holidays and throughout the year, just to do small things for other people. I'm a giver. And so being a giver, that's what makes me happy, doing things for other people. And so that was part of the reason why I really wanted to create a podcast. If you know me personally, I'm very a reserved type person. I'm not an outgoing social type person. And I talk to my family, my friends, they know me. But if you were just to say, oh, I know Courtney, she's very quiet, she kind of stays to herself. I'm not like a social butterfly, as they say. But one of the things I know I bring to the table is a level of maturity and wisdom, right? And so what good is that maturity and wisdom if I'm not able to share that with other women? If I'm not making an impact on other women and encouraging them, no matter what age group, I was worried about, oh, well, what age group do I target? Older women are not going to listen to me because I'm young, and younger women may feel like, oh, you're doing too much, worrying about who's going to support me. But ultimately, I have to remember why God gave me the vision, why I'm doing it, because I'm passionate about helping people. And so it fulfills me, right? That gives me the sense of fulfillment because I'm stepping out on faith. I'm doing something that I want to do, and I'm doing something that can possibly help other people and other women thrive. And so I wanted to build a platform where women can feel comfortable being themselves and feel comfortable knowing that it's okay not to have it all together. It's okay to, allow yourself grace, allow yourself, a chance to really, really take time to work on you and not worry about what other people have to say, or, how is this going to affect my kids or my husband or other people that I may have in my life that mean a lot to me. How is this going to affect them? Is this what's best for them? But at the end of the day, we as women have to learn to live our lives authentically and with a purpose, right? And if people that we love truly love us and support us, they're gonna support you. It doesn't matter what you're doing. We don't have to necessarily worry about them being on board, and they may not be on board at first. But if they love you and they see that you're passionate about it and it's something that you really want to do, they're gonna support, right? It may take some time. It may take you showing them that you're consistent. And that's okay, right? That's totally fine. This episode is all about you knowing that it's okay to still be finding yourself, right? Go on an adventure. That's the second thing I have. So the first one was remember what you love to do. and go do it. The second one is go on an adventure, like travel, take a trip. It doesn't have to be far. You can be on a walk. Like there's a lot of I know here in Houston there's a lot of parks where you can go and take a walk, or maybe have lunch or have coffee by yourself, or go for a drink by yourself, or go hiking, take your dog for a walk. Like there's so many things. Go to the art museum that you can do by yourself, right? Things that you're passionate about, things that will help your mind relax, will help keep your mind at ease. You know, those are the things that I want you to focus on, because life is short and you want to make sure that you're surrounding yourself with positive energy. You're surrounding yourself with love. You're surrounding yourself with things that are purposeful, that things that bring value to your life, making memories. Those are the things that matter the most. We recently celebrated Christmas over the weekend, and my family got together, and we hadn't done that in a while, but it was just so joyous, and it was just a happy occasion for everybody to come together and be in good health, and give gifts and spread love and spread joy and play games. Those are the things that make life worth living. When you can take time to authentically be who you are. And in those moments, sometimes you get an epiphany about who you really are, because if it's one thing your family's going to do, is remind you of who you used to be. And so in those moments, it gives you time to really, 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 really see yourself in a different light, and you begin to see how much you've really grown. And it forces you to really see that you're no longer in the same place that you were 5 years ago, 10 years ago. You're no longer that person, right? You're looking for more in life. Maybe you've developed. Maybe you used to live in a place where you lived in poverty. You grew up in poverty. Now you live in a suburban neighborhood. You have your own home. You're a homeowner. Like, you're doing things that your ancestors and your parents, maybe even your parents, have never done. And so therefore, you have to pat yourself on the back, sis. Like, celebrate where you are in your life, and be okay with everybody not being where you are, right? Be okay with that. Number 3, reconnect with your dreams. Never be afraid to dream big. Just because your dream didn't work out right the first time, like maybe you tried it the first time and it didn't work, or maybe you were in a position to where, obtaining your dream wasn't feasible at the time. Don't give up on it. Like, now you have to regroup. It's kind of like when you go to a sports game and the coach calls a timeout. He signals the ref and says timeout, right? It could be a flag on the play. It could be that the coach is calling the timeout. Sometimes you have to take a timeout and really just write down those goals, or even flip back through those journals or those places where you may have written things down, or go back to the place where you grew up and really just think about what your dreams were. Because it's easy to forget your dreams when people around you, when the people that you're around every day or most often aren't in the place where you saw yourself, right? And so your surroundings and your environment play a major role in the person that you are and you obtaining your dreams. And so if you're not able to change your environment or change your surroundings, you have to change your mindset. So I'm going to say that again. If you're in a place where you're not able to change your environment or change your surroundings, you have to change your mindset. Okay? Your mindset is everything. And that is the most influential thing that you have, because you listen to the people that you trust most. So the people that you're around, they're nowhere near the dreams that you have, most of them. Like if you're around the same people you grew up with, some of them, I'm not saying all of them, but if you're in the say you live in the same place where you grew up, like you never moved, you grew up, you kind of moved in the apartment building down the way from your parents or around the corner from your parents. And I'm not saying anything is wrong with that, but sometimes family and friends that you've known the longest can have the most negative impact on you, because they're saying, oh, because they're okay with where where they are in life, they kind of try to discourage you from those big dreams, those big goals that you have. That's, oh, well, that's not possible. You need to you need to go get a job, or, you really need to go to school if you want to do this. Like, there's some things that don't require school. Like there's always going to be somebody trying to tell you how to get somewhere that they've never been, right? And so therefore you can't relate. You can't relate. And so you let people talk you out of your dreams, and then you find yourself just in the routine and doing the same things that maybe your cousins have done, your dad have done, your mom has done. Like, you find yourself in a routine, and it's like a cycle, and before you know it, you're saying that to your kids. Oh, that's too big. That's a lot to ask for. I don't know if that's going to happen. Like, those types of negative energy, you have to change, right? You have to change and just know and continue to know and continue to, even if you can't be around people who are successful, continue to follow them on social media, continue to watch videos maybe that they put out. Like, invest in a mentor that is already successful or already doing something that you would like to do. It's worth the investment, because you need people who are going to hold you accountable. You need people who are successful, around you, because they're going to encourage you. They're going to keep you going. But if you continue to listen to people who are not dreamers, it's hard. And so when I say dreamers, you also have to be an action taker. So you can dream all day, because we have those people too who, they like to watch TV and they like to, watch social media and just fantasize about other people's lives, or, talk about other people's lives, but they're not really doing anything meaningful in their own. And so you have to be careful with that as well. You want to not only surround yourself around dreamers, but around action takers. So I'm going to say that one more time. You not only want to surround yourself around dreamers, but around action takers, sis. Like, surround yourself around women who are going to lift you up. Surround yourself around women who aren't jealous of you when you walk in the room, because we're all winning and we all look good and we all feel good. There's no need, right? You want to surround yourself with women who are going to push you to be the best version of you. Number 4 that I have for finding yourself, the tip that I have, is expand your comfort zone regularly. This is something that I'm continuously working on, because even just recording this first episode, like, it's really pushing me out of my comfort zone. Like, I don't like to be uncomfortable. I like to be comfortable. And so this is pushing me out of my comfort zone, because I'm alone. On my other podcast, I have my husband to lean on. I don't like being alone. And so what I'm noticing about what God is trying to do with me, I've been taking on different leadership roles that's forcing me to do stuff on my own. And so he's really pushing me into who I was always designed to be. But I was just scared and I needed that little push and I was fearful. But if I really want to go to the next level and I really want to go to where I know God is taking me, I have to push myself, right? I have to push myself even when it feels uncomfortable, even when that little feeling inside of you. And I know we've all felt this, like to where you feel like you want to throw up a little bit, like that feeling. Like, oh, what are people going to say? How are people going to perceive me? I still have that feeling. But I know what God showed me. And so those are the things that I have to follow. And I just know that He's going to work it out. Like, it's not going to be easy. Of course, people are going to judge you sometimes depending on what you're doing. They're going to have an opinion. But ultimately, it's your life. And you have to take charge of your life. That's the only way you're going to find who you are, not who your mom was, not who your sister was. We have families who like to compare you with other family members. We have to, as women, we have to take time to find who we are. And that's not through our husband. That's not through our father, our mother, our sister, or whomever. That has to be something that we have to do for, ourselves. This is a journey. It's a lone journey. Like, it's a journey that you have to take alone. And you have to really take time to figure out who you are. And you have to walk in it. You have to own it. That's why I admire women who have a lot of confidence. Like, confidence is everything. Like, if you think you can do it, you can do it. Like, if you walk with authority, you can do it. And so I learned, that's something that I've been learning and I'm still learning over the years, because I didn't come from a family where affirmations were a thing. I didn't come from a family where, hugs and, pats on the back were a thing. Like, it was just an expectation, right? It was just something that was expected. Maybe you did it, maybe you didn't. But it's like, I expect you to know that I love you, but I just have my own way of showing it, right? Or I expect you to do a certain thing, but I didn't do it. And so the expectation was there, but you didn't necessarily see people doing it. The action wasn't there. If that makes sense. Maybe I'm not articulating it correctly, but maybe some of you understand what I'm trying to say. But I am approaching 35 in 2023. And I'm just so grateful for where I'm at and what I've learned along the way on my own. Because a lot of things I really had to figure out on my own. And that's okay, because we're not all born with parents or people around us who are the most successful. And so what you have to do is you have to work 10 times harder. Some of you guys have children, your whole mindset has changed now, because you're not only living for yourself, you're living for your kids, and you're living for, you want to ultimately have grandkids, and you want to have a role, and you want them to be proud of you, right? And so now you're really, really like wanting to figure it out and wanting to find a way to fill that void that I talked about. And just know that it's coming, sis. God is not going to bring you to anything that He doesn't think you can get through, and that He's not going to help you get through. It's coming. You have to have faith. You have to have a positive mindset, and you have to be willing to go all out for what you want. Number 5, for the tip for finding yourself is get quiet and listen. I've recently been on a journey of 40 days of prayer. It was this challenge that I saw on TikTok. And so the lady, she was talking about how last year she started a challenge, and she began 40 days of prayer, all the way through, I think it was the first week of January. And every day she had a different prayer. Like, for example, Lord, let there be positivity in 2023. Let there be accountability in 20. Like, she started with the sentence stem was let there be, right? And so she went on to talk about how she, in that first quarter of the year, she just saw God really, really doing some of those things that she prayed for, getting up before you even touch your phone, before you even get dressed, and just having that time to really just get quiet and listen, and meditate and hear God clearly. Those things are important, especially as women, because we have to cover our families. We have to, if you have children, you have to cover your children. Those are things that you have to do, because you get so caught up in the hustle and the bustle of life, and you're going and the days are passing by, because one thing about time, it doesn't wait for anyone. It continues to go on and on and on and on. And you find yourself saying, I don't have time. I don't have time. All I'm doing is working. All I'm doing is doing this. I'm in a routine. I'm tired. I want to relax. I want to watch. Like, you want to do all these things, and you're just going and going and going. And before you know it, 5 years has went by and you haven't really done anything that you wanted to do. And that void is still there. It's still there. So it's important to get quiet, be still, and listen. You don't always have to be on the go. You don't always have to be on the move. Some days you need to just take a day to reset and like really, really get your thoughts together, and really, really hear clearly. Really, really, really hear clearly. Because when it's quiet, that's when you can hear the most. Even if you have to get up 30 minutes early, 20 minutes early, like, train yourself to get up a little bit earlier. It's so quiet. It's peaceful. You can really hear. Or maybe just sitting in the dark. Just taking a moment. You don't always have to be surrounded by people. You don't always have to be on the go. You can take some time to just be still. I'm telling you, you will hear so much when you're still and you're quiet. People want to know how I've reached the level that I'm at, and I could be doing more, and I know I could be doing more, because I know my potential. Once I lock in on something, it's over, right? It's over. I'm like, let's go, let's get it. But you're sleeping on your own potential, because you're letting people steal time and energy from you that you could be putting towards your dreams and yourself, and really figuring out what you're passionate about. Just because your friend is passionate about it doesn't mean you're passionate about it. Like, that's another thing. Stop jumping on bandwagons. Like, find out who you are. Find out who you are. The bandwagon is cool, but you got to figure out who you are, because you can't just do something because somebody else is doing it. Number 6, remember you have the power to be, have, and do anything you desire. No one possesses that power but you. You have the power to do and be anything that you desire. No one possesses that power but you. Your mom can't do it for you. Your dad can't do it for you. Your husband, your wife, whoever cannot do it for you. Only you possess that power. So stop saying that you're trying. Stop saying that you want to do something, and just do it. You're the only one that has that power. You can't be so dependent on another person that you forget the power that you possess. Because we allow people to have that much access to us, to where they take our power. And I think that's why a lot of women stay in abusive relationships so long is because you've allowed that person to take your power. And so if you're still in a situation like that, or you're in a position, maybe you're not getting physically abused, you might be getting mentally abused, you might be with a narcissist, you know, you have to take your power back. I know you're scared. I know it's unfamiliar. I know it's uncomfortable, but you have to take your power back. You're the only one that can take it back. I can tell you all day that this is not for you. You know, you're being hurt. You need to walk away. All these things. But if you don't take your own power back, if you don't make a decision for yourself, there's nothing that anyone can do or say that's going to keep you away from that person or away from that situation. You're the only one. You're the only one that can change it. You're the only one that can change your mind. How do you change your mind? By changing your actions, by changing the things that you do, the things that you say. Stop repeating negativity. Stop saying you can't do stuff. Stop saying you don't have time. Stop saying nobody supports you. Do it anyway. Do it anyway. Do it anyway. Because everybody's not going to support you. Everybody's not going to be your friend. You know, everybody doesn't want to see you win. Some people just want to control you. Some people just want to have power over you. Like, you have to do it for you, right? Nobody can do it but you. Number 6, ask for feedback and be receptive to the feedback once you get it. Because you may have friends who are like, girl, I told you that. Or, girl, we talked about this already. Or, girl, you need to get the feedback, take it all, process it. But ultimately, again, you have to do what you think is best for you. But be open to feedback. Get feedback from other people. Hey, how do you feel about this? What do you think? That's going to help you. But you want to get feedback from positive people now, not the negative people. Those are the things that are going to help you. Like really, really surrounding yourself around positive energy. Being around people who genuinely want to see you win. Number 6, assess your relationships. That could be, intimate relationships, friendships, relationships with family members. Assess your relationships. If it's taking power away from you, if it's taking positive energy away from you, if it's draining you, you're feeling stressed, you're feeling overwhelmed. If a relationship is bringing you any of those feelings, those are the relationships you really need to assess. Look at the ones that are good as well. Keep those people around. You need those people in your corner. But the people that are, draining you, you feel tired. I don't care if it's your kid's father. I don't care who it is. I don't care. Because it's not healthy for you. It's not bringing you any value. When you're in a relationship with someone, you want the relationship to bring value. It needs to have a meaning. It needs to be meaningful. It doesn't need to be anything that's weighing you down or sucking you dry of the things that are, that bring you joy. Who wants to be crying and upset and arguing every day? Or who wants to have to prove their point to someone that they say they love and someone that says they love them every day? Like, I don't want to go to war with you every day, friend, husband, boyfriend. Like, this is not what I want to do. Every single day of my life, I want to enjoy my life. And enjoying my life does not mean proving myself to you every day, arguing with you every day, crying every day, coming up with black eyes, arguing, sweating, loaning you money, like draining. If it's draining you, sis, don't take it. with you into this year. We're in the first quarter of the year. It's go time. Like, if you're going to do anything, you need to do it now. And don't look back. Whoever you need to cut off, whatever you need to do, that's what you need to do. And also take time to look at yourself. Assess the relationship with yourself. Make sure that you love yourself. Making sure that you're taking time to really, really care for you. Because if you don't love you, then you have nothing to offer anyone else. You don't have anything to offer anyone else. In closing, I would just like to say, keep taking time for yourself until you're let me say that correctly because my words are all running together. Keep taking time for you until you are you again. All right? Until you feel like yourself, you feel good. You know, keep taking that time, whether it's going to the gym, whether, it's taking some time to go get your nails done, taking some time to go get a massage, taking some time to just meditate in the car for 10, 20 minutes before you go in the house. Whatever you need to do for you, walking in the park, walking your dog, whatever is going to help you get back to a place where you feel fulfilled. That's what you need to do, sis. That's what we need to make happen. We all have flaws. We all have goals. We all have dreams. We all have things that we want to work on to make ourselves better. But what I want you to do is learn to be happy with where you are. Declutter your mind of the things that take you out of your element. So if something is turning you into a person that you don't want to be, and it's taking you out of the energy that you like to be in, the energy that you thrive in, declutter, get rid of it. Always stay true to who you are and whose you are. Stay true to you. Don't change for anybody. Don't be jumping on bandwagons in 2023. Do you. Be authentically who you are. Thrive in who you are. Thrive in your energy. Love you. Because if you love you, that teaches other people how to love you. That teaches other people how to love you correctly. That shows other people how you want to be loved. Once you do that, everything will start to come together. Sometimes you have to show people how to love you. And so that may not be okay for some people. They may not want to do what you're showing them. And that's okay because I'm doing it for myself. But if you can't treat me how I treat myself, I don't want to be around you. I only want top level energy around me. So if you have low energy and you're always down and you're always complaining, you're always never happy with your environment, what are you going to do to change it? What are you going to do to change it? Okay. So take some time to really, really think about how you want this first quarter of 2023 to be for you. Also, guys, comment down below. Let me know how you guys feel about my first episode. Oh my God. I was so nervous, but they're only going to get better with time. This is something I want to do. And so I'm doing it. And so if you don't like it, I don't know what to tell you. No, but I'm just joking. But subscribe, like, share. I know my episodes will also be available. Like if you want to listen to them in the car, they'll be available on audio. But if you like video, here I am. I'll also be posting here. But tell a friend, bring a friend. But guys, don't forget to thrive in who you are. All right. And if I can show you anything, I just want to show you that you can do anything you want to do without the approval of others, as long as it makes you happy. I also will be starting a book club. And so if you're interested in joining the book club, you can comment below or you can DM me. I'm at Mrs. Why Now Is Your Time on Instagram. Mrs. Why Now Is Your Time on Instagram. And so put it here on the screen for you guys. Go follow me, like, share this video. There's one other thing I was going to say. Oh, also, the Grace Girls community, you probably see in my background, will be coming to you guys soon. It will be available on my website. And so all those things are coming, but I'm super excited about my first episode. And so thank you guys for listening. Thank you guys for watching. And I'll see you guys in the next one. Peace. Well, guys, that concludes our episode. Thank you guys so much for tuning in to the Allow Yourself Grace podcast. For additional information about today's episode, please click the link in the show notes below. To learn more about our Grace Girls community and other resources we have to offer, head over to www.allowyourselfgrace.com. Until next time, Grace Girls, I love you all. Be blessed and continue to strive for success.